What's up, guys? Welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding. And I'm doing some cardio right now, an hour before breakfast. And you can really feel the burn of the fat when you know you're hungry and then you're doing cardio. That's why you should always do slow-paced cardio when you don't have any food in you, so that you won't actually tap into your muscle reserves, but only your fat reserves. That's what we want. So yeah, it's a low day right now. A low day of carbs. I have right now a high day, a low day, high day, and a low day. It used to be a high day, a low day. But the more low days you have, obviously, the less calories you consume overall, and the more fat you burn. And depending on how fast it goes, I might even go to low, high. So then I will burn even more. That's why you should never do everything at once, but wait until your progress slows down a little bit, and then apply the next method. Some people start out right away with carb cycling. And what do you do after 4 weeks when everything stops again? Decrease your calories, up your cardio. Sure, you can do that, but at the end, you will be eating 2,000 calories and be doing an hour of cardio a day. That's not what we want. We want to eat as much as possible, with as little as cardio as possible, and lose as much fat as possible. And you do that by applying carb cycling the right way. So I always like walking through different neighborhoods. It makes cardio fun. If you always do the same thing, or always are on the treadmill or something, it might get boring after a while and time passes rather slowly. That's why I like to go outside, because that way it'll go a lot faster. That way there's always something different to see, different paths to walk, and you actually learn your neighborhood. I actually moved in here 3 or 4 years ago, and I gotta say, I still don't really know this neighborhood that well. We used to live at one place for about 10, 12 years, and I knew that neighborhood like the back of my hand. So here, I'm trying to get to know it more by walking around everywhere and be familiar with everything. Alrighty guys, I'm home now. I had my first meal, and I actually take this right before cardio, fat releaser. Just has some green tea in it, some caffeine in it, just to give a tiny little boost to the fat burning process. But every tiny little boost over a long period of time actually does have an effect. So right after I got home, I drank some water. I actually drink 500 milliliters or half a liter of water before doing cardio to cleanse the body. You know, when you're doing cardio, you're sweating. If you don't eat anything and you only have water in your system, it allows your body to get rid of the toxins easier. So when I got home, I had my first meal with oatmeal, 80 grams of oatmeal, 15 grams of raisins, 60 grams of whey, and 20 grams of almonds. That's pretty much almost the highest carb meal of the day. And right now I have meal number 2, so let me show you. So as you can see, it is mostly white fish, 300 grams of white fish, and I've got about 25 grams of rice, or 65 grams of cooked rice, a little bit of brown beans, a little bit of different vegetables than usual. I ran out of my usual vegetables, and I always like to include some vegetables. And of course, I added my famous Cajun spices, some paprika or bell pepper spices, stuff like that, some chili spices, to literally spice it up. So I'm going to enjoy this protein-rich, low-carb meal. Wow, look at that, you guys. Look at that. This fish, it has been marinated in a little bit of soy sauce, giving it a nice salty, flavorsome taste. And now we've got 170 grams of basmati rice, cooked basmati rice, and some 150 grams of vegetables. But this time I don't have a vegetable mix, I actually cut it up myself. And what we have is bell peppers, celery, spring onions, eggplant, and what else we've got? Oh yeah, zucchini, right, that's the word I was looking for. And what all these vegetables have in common is that they don't bloat you, they don't give you any form of gas. because if you use onions, garlic, broccoli, cauliflower, stuff like that, it might hinder your workout, especially when you're doing legs, and that's not what you want. Alright guys, I just finished my meal. I'll work out in about an hour. I'm going to do legs, so that will be awesome. I'm really starting to like leg workouts now. By the way, that stuff over there, let's see where my arm is, right there. That's actually Bolero packets. This stuff right here, it's just to get me through the diet easier. It's basically like, I have never liked Coca-Cola Zero or any of that stuff. So, but I do like flavored drinks, and these are sugar-free drinks. So, because your diet is free of any sweetness, having a drink that's a little sweet is a nice thing to have, especially when it's warm. You add some ice cubes to it. Delicious. But anyway, I wanted to show you guys something that I recently got. Okay, so I was approached by someone to look at their website, and it's a website full of shoes, and to see if I like them, if I would be interested in receiving one of their shoes. And you guys know that I love Nike shoes, right? I have these high top red Nikes that I really love. I really love the style of them. However, they're very expensive to buy, so that's why I only have one of those pairs. I know people who have a lot of pairs of shoes, but this website called Yeezy.online, the link is in the description by the way, has offered me to send me a pair for free, so of course I accepted, and I just received it, and I wanted to share a review with you guys because I really love these shoes already. I haven't worn them yet, but I received them just now, so yeah, let's take a look. Alright, this is the box right here. This is Nike Air Force One. This is how you receive it. The box is a little banged up, but it's from Hong Kong, and it was actually delivered in one day actually, so that was pretty quick, a lot faster than I expected. I would have at least thought it would take a week, but I'm very happy. And this are the shoes themselves, and as you can see, the Nike logo is on here, and they look pretty amazing. So this is literally how you get them. I have size 46. Get them out of the box right here. And they look pretty awesome, as you can see. I like these high top shoes because they make your calves look bigger, and they just look awesome in general. I really am a fan of these rough type of shoes. And as you can see, the quality, and as I feel the shoe, the quality is very good. I haven't worn them yet though, so I will show you guys that in a minute, but first impressions is that they are very nice looking and very high quality seeming, so let's try them on. Alright, so I got them on, and they actually fit perfectly. You can see toe doesn't reach the end. That's how it should be, and it actually fits pretty nicely. I thought it would be a little tight, as most shoes that I buy of size 46 are a little tight. And look at that, the calves look a lot bigger because it's shortened right here. Let me show you. So if you stand in the mirror like this part right here that would normally not be covered is shortening your calf, making him look more massive. And that's what a lot of guys want, and that's why it looks good in the gym as well. But I like these shoes in general. I have pretty much only high top shoes now, except for my walking shoes, which are also Nikes. So the interesting thing about these shoes is that they actually don't tighten with the laces. They're just there to ensure the tightness of this part, but to actually keep your foot inside, they put these two straps on there, and that makes it look rough at the same time. So you can loosen this up, and right now it's much looser feeling on me. And obviously right now you would think, hey, this looks kind of weird, right? But if you put these straps on back, it looks a lot better in my opinion. I personally like shoes like this, and that's why I even accepted to get these shoes, to receive the shoes, because I looked at the website and I simply loved the shoes on there, and I had to choose between a lot of different shoes, and these ones were pretty amazing. Okay guys, so this is the website that I got the shoes from. So they told me, hey, look at this website, see if there are shoes that you like. And I checked Mike, went to Air Force, because I like that name, and I saw these ones right here. So if you look closely, you can see that these were $500, but now are about $110. The reason is that these are really Nikes. They also have Adidas, as you can see right here. They got a lot of different shoes, also brands that I don't know, like Yeezy. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, to be honest. I have seen these shoes before, but I never really paid attention to them. But as you can see, they've got a lot of different brands here. And they told me that these are the same, pretty much identical to the original, except they're able to make them for much cheaper. You gotta realize that sometimes a brand like Nike or Adidas makes these shoes pretty cheap, but literally puts 500% price over what they could ask for it because it's a brand. A lot of different clothing brands do this. So the motto of this company is basically, and that's what I like and that's what attracted me to it, is that you can get shoes like this that actually look good with high quality, not for such a ridiculous high amount of money, but actually for a lower price. That's why I only had one pair of shoes, and obviously that's for most people plenty enough. I mean, what else do you need? But if you really like shoes and really like to change up your style, getting shoes like this for a lower price than usual, it's a pretty nice thing to be able to do. So yeah, that's the reason why I am showing you this. If you guys are interested, check it out. You can also use my code VG10 for 10% off on every shoe on this website. So alright guys, so I wanted to talk to you about the demonetization of the YouTube channels. I actually haven't really delved into if I'm a victim or not, but what I do notice is that my AdSense, which stands for the service that Google uses to pay you every month for the advertisements on your videos, has gone down a little bit for me as well as for pretty much every YouTuber out there. Now, it doesn't really matter to me because I started this channel to spread the message about classic bodybuilding, but of course, and even when I started the channel, I had no idea about the amount of money that you could make with these videos. I literally thought, okay, I'm gonna make these videos so that I could set up a base of subscribers who actually know me and know what I stand for, and actually spread the message also across my apparel line, which I will be increasing a lot as well still. But it turns out that you could actually make money with YouTube, and then I decided, okay, I'm gonna devote more time to this. I still am having my degree as a dietetics and nutrition student with sports nutrition minor, of course, which supports this bodybuilding lifestyle that I live. So what I wanted to do is focus on bodybuilding, YouTube, and my degree. And together, that would create the ultimate lifestyle for me, what I wanted to live. So the reason that I, and probably some other YouTubers, are more inclined to taking some kind of sponsorships, because I do believe that in the future, the way that content creators will make money on YouTube is not absolutely through advertisements, but also through third parties who offer their products or services through the videos of the content creators if it mixes well with that channel. And every time I get a lot of offers on email, trust me, I don't respond to 90% of them. So yeah, again, one of the reasons that I like to take opportunities like this is because, for example, these shoes that I just talked about blend well with the channel because they fit my personality, because I can honestly talk about them and like them, just like I reviewed other products that go well with sport, fitness, bodybuilding, etc. So I'm not gonna ever review random products, only products that a portion of you guys might be interested in and might understand. So yeah, that's basically my explanation about that. And yeah guys, again, I want to thank you for your support. It's been an awesome journey so far, and I have a feeling it's going to be so much greater. Anyway, let's jump right into the leg workout of today. And as you can see, I'm starting out with a hamstring exercise, the standing leg curl. Today is mostly about the hamstrings and the other leg day is mostly about the quads, but you always train both of them on the same day regardless. But that's why I like to start out with the hamstrings, because I want to focus on those for sure. They have come up quite a bit since last competition, actually since last year, but they are still I don't want them to remain behind at all. I want them to become a strong point. Making your weak points into strong points is what bodybuilding is all about. But this exercise is great for isolating each single hamstring, and this is kind of a pre-exhaustion method or a warming up method for the hamstrings. And yes, some people have said in my previous video that pre-exhaustion doesn't really do that much for the muscle, but the way that I view it is that I use an exercise like this to already put all my effort into an isolation movement, which would not be possible if you would start with a compound movement. So now you put all your effort into one single muscle, the hamstrings, and then you overload it with a heavier exercise like the leg press that I'm about to do right here, the wide stance leg press. When you do a wide stance leg press, you focus a little more on the quads, the glutes, and the inner thighs. And when you do a narrow stance one, it focuses more on the quad sweep, and that's not what we're working on right now. Last time I did it like that, but what you always want to look for as well is that your feet, when trying to target the glutes and the hamstrings, are not too low on the pad, because if they are, you focus also more on the quad. So put them nice and high, really make those hamstrings work, and load up on the weights on the hamstrings, on the leg press. But make sure that you control the weight. If you look closely, I go down slowly, not hammering the weight up and down. I want the tension to be felt in the muscle itself. Yes, it is difficult when doing legs, but if you go down a little slower and go up more explosively, you can actually feel the effects of the previous exercise, the hamstring curls, in your legs. Because right now, when I'm going all the way down, I feel the glutes, I feel the hamstrings, I feel it being filled up with blood. And that pump will actually cause me to feel that part of the leg much better. The next exercise, the hack squat, we're actually going to do 6 sets of those because I like to focus on the main compound exercises and do a lot of volume on those. I find that works the best, especially when cutting, burning more energy and at the same time focusing on the muscles that you want to work. And if you look closely at my form, is that I'm going lower than 90 degrees. Most people purposely stop at 90 degrees, but in my opinion, if you want the full benefit of this exercise, the full stretch of the quads and the full stretch and contraction of the glutes, you do want to go all the way down for maximum growth in your entire legs. What you also see me wear is a weightlifting belt. I do this to prevent the increase of my growth in the core area. Because what a belt does is it decreases the contraction of the core muscles, because your core now pushes against the belt, so it won't need to contract as hard to get the same pressure results. So what happens if you don't wear a belt is your core becomes too strong, and with strength eventually comes mass. And I do not want to build extra mass around the core, so that's why a belt is necessary for me to be a competitive classic bodybuilder. And you may have noticed, but I'm actually wearing the shoes that I showed you earlier in this video. In this workout, I actually did not want to go work out legs in these shoes, but I was like, well, why not? The best way to test shoes is to actually work out in them, because they are called Air Force shoes, so I mean, they should be able to withstand something. And I tried them out, and I have to say, even though the sole is thick, it is very flat and very hard, so it was a very good support everywhere. So I was surprised that they held up so good during the workout. And actually right here I accidentally added 40 kilos instead of 20 kilos, so at this moment I thought this was 100 kilos and it's 120 kilos. So it felt heavier than I thought, but it felt lighter than I would have thought 120 kilos is. So that's kind of a mental thing if you don't know how much weight is on the bar. And right now we're doing stationary lunges, starting out with just the bar, getting my balance ready. Again, not wearing the belt right now. I want my core to be activated during this. I want to make sure that all those little muscles are activated, making sure that they balance my body out before I start wearing the belt. And you've got 2 variations of lunges with a barbell. You can do it walking or stationary. And I have to say that I like the stationary a little bit more because I'm better able to keep my balance and you don't have to look out to bump up against anything, because in the gym there's a lot of equipment, and if you walk around with a barbell like this, you have to concentrate on not only the weight but also where you are in the room. So, and also if you do more than 10 or 12 steps, you might already have reached the end of the path and you have to turn around. And here you can do as many steps as you want in one place and tire out until you can't go anymore. And in my opinion, it's a little safer as well. And yeah, I like this exercise because it not only works the hamstrings, it also works the glutes, it works the quads, it works everything of the legs, and that's what you want in an exercise like this. But especially if you step deep enough, you really work the glutes. Because again, like I said earlier, the deeper you go on leg exercises, the more the glutes get involved, and a lot of people have underdeveloped the glutes, causing back pains, causing all kinds of different aches in the legs and the back, and that's not what you want when you are a bodybuilder who wants to lift as heavy as possible. And this is my final set. I basically go until failure, but with failure it depends what I mean, and it depends on the exercise. Here it basically means the moment that I start to lose my balance, I don't want to risk falling over. So when I feel that I cannot really do a lot more reps without possibly losing my balance, I kind of stop, and that's why I like to do a lot of volume. So I at least get a lot of volume in, got a very good pump in the legs, got the lactic acid flowing, got the pump inducing ingredients in those muscle fibers, so the muscle will grow. And here I'm about to lose my balance a little bit, so I decided to call it quits on this exercise. But I got everything out of it that I wanted. And the last leg exercise is a good morning to finish off. Some people know this name, some people don't, but the good morning is basically the same as a stiff leg deadlift, but this time the bar is not in your hands, it's on your neck. So again, you put your legs in a stiff legged position, and for some people it's difficult because they feel the lower back more compared to their hamstrings, so you gotta figure out how to exactly position yourself. But if you got a decent mind muscle connection, it won't be difficult to activate the hamstrings and the glutes, especially when you thrust forward. Make sure to activate those glutes. And here we're going to do seated calf raises, and these are actually what I was most concerned about with these shoes, because they are a thick sole. I thought it was not possible to stretch deep enough and to contract hard enough, but actually it was very easy. I am very surprised at the versatility of these shoes, so I'll be using them a lot more in my workouts. I have other Nike shoes, but they are not as versatile as these because the soles are even more rigid, so they won't stretch down at all. But the best thing for legs is to have a very thin sole, so you can actually feel everything happening, because right now your feet don't really feel anything. You gotta know how to contract your calf yourself, and that is kind of difficult for some people to do. And we decided to only do the seated calf raise today and really go to the maximum. I'm doing 7 sets of calf raises. Usually I do 3 or 4 and then 3 or 4 with the standing calf raise, but I decided to go nice and heavy and voluminous on these seated calf raises. So yeah guys, that was the workout of today. I hope you enjoyed the workout, I hope you learned something, and let me know what you want to see in the comment section. And I'm about to actually host a new Q&A video. So if you have any questions you want me to answer, make sure to put them in the comment section with a hashtag like VGQ&A, and I will be able to select them and answer them. Anyway, don't forget to stay golden.